For centuries, humanity has whispered stories of beings that should not exist, creatures that defy science, logic, and even history itself. From grainy film reels to sonar scans deep beneath black waters, from ancient carvings on sacred temples to eyewitness accounts that haunt small towns, each mystery challenges what we believe is real. Tonight we step into the shadows of the unknown, where myth collides with evidence and legends refuse to die. The Patterson-Gimlin Bigfoot film analysis on October 20th, 1967, two men ventured into the remote wilderness of Bluff Creek, California, armed with nothing more than a 16mm camera and an unshakable belief that something extraordinary lived in these ancient forests. Roger Patterson and Bob Gimlin would emerge from that expedition with 59.5 seconds of footage that would ignite a debate lasting over half a century. The film captures a towering, hair-covered figure striding across a sandbar with an unmistakably non-human gait. Frame 352 has become the most analyzed piece of cryptozoological evidence in history. The creature, standing nearly 7 feet tall, turns to look directly at the camera before disappearing into the tree line. What makes this footage particularly compelling is the subject's muscle definition visible beneath thick, dark hair, and a walking pattern that defies simple human replication. Biomechanical experts have scrutinized every detail. The creature's arm length extends far beyond human proportions, while its stride length and hip rotation suggest a bone structure fundamentally different from our own. Hollywood special effects artists of 1967 lacked the technology to create such sophisticated costume work, particularly the complex muscle movements visible in the shoulders and legs. Skeptics point to the convenient timing of the encounter and the filmmaker's prior interest in Bigfoot. Yet 5 decades of technological advancement have failed to definitively expose the footage as a hoax. Digital enhancement reveals details invisible to the naked eye, but rather than solving the mystery, each technological breakthrough seems to deepen it further. The truth remains locked within those grainy frames, waiting to be discovered. Loch Ness monster sonar contacts. Beneath the dark waters of Scotland's most famous loch lies a mystery that modern technology has only deepened, not solved. Since the 1960s, sophisticated sonar equipment has detected large, moving objects in Loch Ness that defy conventional explanation. The loch itself presents a perfect habitat for the unknown, stretching 23 miles in length and plunging to depths of 755 feet. Its waters contain more liquid than all the lakes of England and Wales combined. The murky, peat-stained depths provide near-zero visibility below 30 feet, creating an underwater world as alien as the ocean floor. In 1987, Operation Deepscan deployed 24 boats equipped with advanced sonar across the loch's entire width. The synchronized sweep detected 3 large contacts moving at depths between 180 and 200 feet, objects far too large to be any known fish species. The sonar signatures showed creatures measuring 15 to 20 feet in length, moving with purpose through the water column. More recently, underwater photographer Adrian Shine recorded sonar contacts of massive objects rising from the loch floor, only to vanish before cameras could capture them. The acoustic signatures suggest something with substantial mass displacing significant volumes of water, yet no visual confirmation has ever been achieved. Marine biologists note that the loch's ecosystem could theoretically support large aquatic life. The question remains, what generates sonar returns identical to those of large marine animals in a landlocked Scottish lake? The instruments detect something moving in those depths, but the identity of Loch Ness's hidden inhabitants continues to elude us. Retry Claude can make mistakes. Please double-check responses. Chupacabra first appearance mystery in August 1995. The small town of Canovanas, Puerto Rico, became ground zero for one of the modern world's most perplexing cryptozoological phenomena. 8 sheep were discovered drained of blood through precise puncture wounds, marking the first documented encounter with what locals would name El Chupacabra, the goat sucker. The attacks followed an unnervingly consistent pattern. Victims showed no signs of struggle, yet bore 3 small triangular puncture wounds, typically on the neck or chest. Most disturbing was the complete absence of blood at the crime scenes, as if the fluid had been systematically extracted. Veterinary examinations revealed that internal organs remained untouched, ruling out conventional predators. Within months, similar incidents spread across Puerto Rico like wildfire. Eyewitness accounts described a bipedal creature standing 4 to 5 feet tall, with large red eyes, pronounced spinal ridges, and grayish-green skin. The consistency of these descriptions across multiple witnesses who had no contact with each other puzzled investigators. Government officials initially dismissed the reports, but the mounting evidence forced a response. Local police began filing official incident reports, and the Puerto Rican Department of Natural Resources launched an investigation. Yet no conclusive physical evidence was ever recovered. No clear photographs, no tissue samples, no definitive proof of the creature's existence. The mystery deepens when we consider the timing. Why did this phenomenon emerge so suddenly in 1995, and why Puerto Rico? The island had no folklore tradition of such creatures, yet within weeks, an entirely new cryptid had embedded itself into local consciousness, leaving behind only questions and empty carcasses drained of life. Mokele-mbembe Congo sightings, deep within the impenetrable swamps of the Congo basin. Local tribes speak of a creature that science insists vanished 65 million years ago. The Mokele-mbembe, described as a long-necked, plant-eating giant the size of an elephant, has been reported by indigenous communities across Central Africa for generations. The Likwala swamp region of the Republic of Congo presents an environment virtually unchanged since the Mesozoic era. Dense canopy block satellite imagery, while treacherous waterways and political instability have kept vast areas unexplored by modern science. It is here, in lagoons accessible only by dugout canoe, that witnesses describe encounters with something that resembles a living sauropod dinosaur. In 1980, herpetologist Roy Mackal led the first scientific expedition to investigate these claims. Local guides consistently described a herbivorous creature with a long neck, small head, and powerful tail, measuring 15 to 30 feet in length. The Baka pygmies showed expedition members claw marks on trees and pointed to specific lagoons where the creature allegedly surfaces to feed on the Molombo plant. Most compelling are the footprint casts collected during various expeditions, circular impressions measuring 12 inches, across with 3 distinct claw marks. These tracks match no known African animal, yet display consistent characteristics across multiple sites separated by hundreds of miles. Chemical analysis of water samples from alleged Mokele-mbembe habitats reveals unusually high levels of methane and organic compounds consistent with large herbivore activity. The question remains: in an age where new species are discovered monthly in remote locations, could a relic population of sauropods have survived in Africa's last unexplored wilderness? Beast of Gévaudan historical case between 1764 and 1767, the remote mountains of south-central France became the hunting ground for a predator that would terrorize an entire region and baffle the royal court of King Louis XV. The Beast of Gévaudan claimed over 100 victims, transforming the pastoral landscape of Lozère into a realm of unprecedented fear. The attacks followed a disturbing pattern that distinguished them from typical wolf predation. Victims were found with their throats torn out with surgical precision, yet the bodies remained largely uneaten, behavior alien to any known European carnivore. Witnesses described a creature larger than any wolf, with reddish fur, an enormous head, and a distinctive black stripe running down its back. Most unsettling were reports of the beast's apparent intelligence, seemingly selecting vulnerable targets and evading organized hunting parties with calculated cunning. King Louis XV dispatched his finest hunters, including the royal wolf hunter François Antoine, who killed a large wolf in September 1765. The attacks ceased briefly, leading many to believe the nightmare had ended. Yet within months, the killings resumed with renewed ferocity, suggesting either a different creature or something that had survived the royal hunt. Historical records from the period reveal testimonies from over 500 witnesses, creating one of the most thoroughly documented cryptozoological cases in European history. Parish registers meticulously recorded each attack, while government correspondence detailed the escalating panic that gripped the region. The beast's reign of terror ended as mysteriously as it began, leaving behind only questions carved in stone monuments and whispered in local folklore. What stalked the mountains of Gévaudan remains hidden in the shadows of history. Angkor Wat Stegosaurus carving. Within the ancient stone walls of Cambodia's magnificent Angkor Wat temple lies a carving that challenges our understanding of both history and paleontology. Etched into a circular medallion on the temple's outer wall is the unmistakable silhouette of what appears to be a Stegosaurus, complete with the distinctive row of plates along its back. The temple itself was constructed in the early 12th century during the height of the Khmer Empire, when master craftsmen adorned its walls with over 3,000 intricate carvings depicting the natural world around them. Among familiar animals like monkeys, deer, and water buffalo, this particular carving stands apart. The creature displays anatomical features, a small head, long tail, and prominent dorsal plates that correspond precisely to Stegosaurus fossils found in North America and Europe. What makes this carving particularly intriguing is its context. The surrounding medallions feature animals native to Southeast Asia, suggesting the artists were documenting their local environment. Yet Stegosaurus dinosaurs supposedly vanished from Earth 150 million years ago, long before humans walked the planet. The carving shows no signs of modern addition or alteration, and its weathering pattern matches the surrounding stonework perfectly. Archaeological teams have examined the carving using advanced imaging techniques, confirming its authenticity as original 12th century craftsmanship. The artistic style remains consistent with other animal depictions throughout the temple complex, showing the same attention to anatomical detail that makes the other carvings so recognizable. The question remains, how did medieval Khmer sculptors accurately depict a creature that mainstream science claims disappeared millions of years before their civilization even existed? Retry Claude can make mistakes. Please double-check responses. Mothman Point. Pleasant phenomenon. In the autumn of 1966, the industrial town of Point Pleasant, West Virginia, became the epicenter of encounters with a creature that seemed to herald catastrophe itself. Over the course of 13 months, more than 100 residents reported sightings of a humanoid figure with glowing red eyes and wings spanning 10 feet across. The first documented encounter occurred on November 12, 1966, when two young couples driving near the abandoned North Power Plant observed a large gray creature with hypnotic red eyes. As they fled in terror, the being pursued their vehicle at speeds exceeding 100 miles per hour, keeping pace effortlessly, despite never appearing to flap its massive wings. Within days, similar reports flooded local authorities from across Mason County. Witnesses described consistent details. A man-sized figure standing 6 to 7 feet tall, covered in dark gray or brown feathers, with piercing red eyes that seemed to emanate their own light. Most unsettling was the creature's apparent ability to vanish instantaneously and its uncanny presence near areas that would later experience tragedy. The sightings reached their crescendo on December 15, 1967, when the Silver Bridge connecting Point Pleasant to Ohio collapsed during rush hour traffic, killing 46 people. In the aftermath of this disaster, Mothman encounters ceased as abruptly as they had begun, leaving investigators to ponder a disturbing correlation. Local wildlife officials suggested misidentified sandhill cranes, yet these explanations failed to account for the creature's reported size, luminous eyes, and supernatural flight capabilities. The connection between the sightings and the bridge collapse remains unexplained, raising questions about whether some phenomena serve as harbingers of impending doom. Perhaps these creatures are nothing more than folklore, misidentifications, or clever hoaxes. Or perhaps they are glimpses into a hidden world that still brushes against our own. Until the truth is uncovered, these mysteries will continue to walk beside us, in the forests, in the depths, and in the dark corners of history. The question is, are we ready to find out what's really there?